19.
I know, yeah.
She came from an industrial city like Sheffield and then was brought to a landscape probably similar to this to work the land, and she was a tough cookie. So I'm really excited about knowing more and finding more about her.
Natalie's joining her fellow cast members.
See you later.
Each on their own journey to unearth the story of a First World War hero living just miles from the village set.
He lived at the Woolpack.
And discovering how the lives of ordinary people, like Clara, were suddenly turned upside down.
I feel that with Clara, I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling that she would have thrown herself into it.
Clara's first assignment was just round the corner from Emmerdale, at a small farm near Goole.
You know, we don't really do farm work in Emmerdale. Health and safety reasons and all that.
She would have been thrown in at the deep end, a big shock for a young city girl, as Natalie is about to find out herself.
I'm excited, a little bit nervous.
As she joins fifth-generation sheep farmer Sarah Hogarth, who still uses some traditional techniques unchanged in a century.
It's gonna get me some sheep.
Getting up at 5 a.m. every morning, Clara and her fellow recruits would suddenly have been required to work punishing 10-hour shifts 6 days a week.
We'll give it a go.
This was a very long way from their lives before the war,
Wow.
when these young inner-city girls would have been expected to follow a path of domesticity.
Oh, this is like a bit of a dance. Oh.
The work was tough, but for Clara and the land girls, this was their first liberating taste of independence.
There? Oh. I can take a kicking. I'm from Glasgow. It is a lot harder than it looks, trust me. It is. Is that her done then?
Go.
There you go. Ah.
Natalie may have found her brief taste of Edwardian sheep farming exhausting.
I'm going to get out of these donkeys. That is hard work.
But Clara wanted more. Young, feisty and ambitious, she was desperate for a new posting to prove herself in a part of rural life that until now was solely occupied by men.
Making me work. Quite right too.
Natalie's heading back to meet Nicola to discover the next part of Clara's journey.
Definitely hard work. How did they do it?
They had guts, didn't they?
They had guts.
Yeah.
Made of strong stuff.
Absolutely.
The Women's Land Army deployed their girls wherever they were needed, but Clara was desperate for one specific posting to come her way. She'd been raised around forgers and farriers, blacksmiths specialising in horses. This was a world Clara loved.
We're not quite sure, but we know her father worked in a brewery.
Okay.
Which of course used horses to transport, so that might be the connection. But that's what she joined for, that's what her pre-war skills seem to be.
100 years ago, smithies were vital to everyday life. Even Eschalt, the tiny village Emmerdale's based on, had 4. But with the arrival of war, many farriers were sent to service the horses on the front line. There was a desperate need to replace these men, but was Edwardian Yorkshire ready for its first female farrier?
The scale of what these girls would have had to do is quite incredible. The sheer bravery and determination. I want to know more about Clara's journey.
Natalie's heading to one of the nearest working forges to meet farrier Sarah Brown.
Sarah! Hiya!
Hi there.
Sorry to interrupt.
Nice to meet you. How do you do?
Nice to meet you. I'm Natalie. So, I'm following a girl's footsteps called Clara Bill. The things that I'd like to know is how difficult would it have been for her to
become a farrier at that age. I think it would be incredibly difficult. I think, given opinions on how people felt about women doing that kind of work, I've been shoeing since 2001, and I found it incredibly hard for somebody to take me seriously and give me a job. You go back 100 years, you can't imagine to persuade people you were capable of doing that kind of work.